We're looking at skills practice on controlling variables, question number 1. It says you're planning an experiment to find out whether the rate at which water freezes depends on the shape of its container. So let's imagine what this experiment would be like. You could think about looking at a couple different Tupperware containers. And maybe you want to find out, does the one that's in kind of a rounded shape freeze faster than the one that's in a square shape? Or maybe you have one that's more of in a triangle shape. Does the shape affect how fast it takes the water to freeze? So we know we only want to change one thing in an experiment. And that one thing is called, it has two different names. It's called either manipulated variable or the independent variable. It's the single thing you change. It's the thing you change on purpose. Okay, so look at this. Which is our single thing we want to change? And really it's the shape of our container. So we can say that our manipulated variable equals the shape of the container. All right, then the next thing we want to know is something about a responding variable. So if we manipulate or change the shape of the container, what's going to respond? What's going to change because of that? Well, we're guessing that the rate at which water freezes is going to change. That's what we're making a prediction about. Okay, so our responding variable, or also called our dependent variable, is going to be the rate at which water freezes. Okay, so I write in. Put on a smaller font here. That our responding variable equals rate at which water freezes. Okay, that's the thing we'll be measuring. It's also the thing we'll be making a prediction about in our hypothesis. All right. Finally, the question asks, list the other variables that you're going to control. So we only want to change one thing. Some things are going to change because of that, but we want to make sure we control all other variables. That means we make everything else the same to make sure we're only testing one thing at a time. Otherwise, it gets confusing. You don't know what's causing the changes. So in order to figure out what those other things are, think about what's in your experiment. What might be part of it? Well, water is one of the things that is in it. So we probably want, one of the things we could control is the amount of water. So variables to control. Let's change our size. One might be amount of water. Okay, wouldn't be a fair test if in the square container we had 2 inches of water and in the round container we had 4 inches of water. Wouldn't be a fair test because you wouldn't know if it was the shape or the amount of water that was causing the change in freezing time. So what else could we control? Let's see. Well, we have a container. We know we're going to change the shape. What else can a container have? Well, it could be the material. We want to control the material. We make sure it's the same. So we say container material. Okay. And we probably also, if we're going to put them in a freezer of some sort, we probably want to make sure that we control the temperature that they're each put in. So we're going to want to put both containers into the same cold freezer. It would not be a fair test if we put one in a cold freezer and one in a warmer freezer. So we're probably going to want to control the temperature. Okay, so we could go on here, but those are 3 to go with. And now we've taken a look at, for this number 1, we know about our manipulated variable, our responding variable, and the other variables that we're going to control.